Right, so yeah, I am back into the game, and there has been a bit of a development today, as far as Waterloo goes. There's been a bit of a change. I did actually mention this a few days ago, when I first saw the news about it, because I was a little bit annoyed, to be honest, because I literally just put a talisman on the IS-3, and then today, like I say, I found out about this about 5 days ago. Today, the IS-3 has been shifted up to battle rate 8.0. Now, how much of an effect that's going to have on the IS-3 is quite significant, I imagine. However, the way the matchmaker is at the moment, it may not have that much of an effect. Quite simply put, because there's such a lack of tier 5s for all nations. Russians included, to be honest. They've just actually taken one out today. It's worse for the Germans now, obviously. Panther F got moved out. So they've only got, like five vehicles for tier 5. Or rank 5, if you want to call it that. The Russians have 7. Surprise, surprise. They have the most. The Americans have 5 as well. So yeah, you can kind of see there straight away there's a bit of an imbalance as far as what, who's got what or how many units are available. Not that, the difference in vehicles is of a significant amount, although it is in certain respects, because, yeah, for example, that has the wrong arm values. That is just basically Tiger 2 with a different gun. That's been down-tiered, that's been down-tiered, that's been down-tiered, and that hasn't. Well, it might have been. I'm not sure about that one, actually. I think it was lower than that, to be honest. But either way, because all of those 4 have been down-tiered, that basically means the Germans have one heavy tank, the Morse, to fight against everything the Russians have, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vehicles. So the Germans are just dead anyway. There's literally no point in taking the Morse out at the moment, because you will just get screwed every game. You've got one vehicle of battle rating 8. The rest aren't anywhere near that. They're all, but that's 6.7, that's 7, that's 7, and that's 7. They're no match, basically, for what is on offer from the Russians. And to be honest, it's very similar for the Americans as well. You've got the M46, that's been down-tiered, I think. The M47, that's been at its battle rating lowered. That's still not going to make it so it doesn't get into games against Russian, tier 5s. It just means that it's just had its effectiveness, like, down-rated. Gaijin have admitted, basically, it's not as effective as they think it should be. Or rather, basically, the idea being that, yeah, the Russians need something to fight, so that's going there. The M103, that's battle rank 8 at the moment. Now, I've taken it out a few times so far, and from what I've seen of it, yeah, those arm values you see there, like the 127mm for the turret and the hull, that's about right for what Gaijin have actually put on the vehicle. And they don't count the slope, or sloping. Now, as far as I'm aware, the hull armour should actually be quite a bit thicker. At least from what I recall, but I will check that information. Let's see what I can find out. But yeah, basically, that thing is just meat on the table for what we'll be facing it. Because, as I've already, as I've just said, the Americans don't have, anything near the amount of vehicles that the Russians have got to choose from. They can dip the M47 in, yeah, sure, do it. Knock yourselves out with that. But you probably will be knocking yourself out with it, because it's that outclassed by what it'll be fighting. It's a high target. You can see from that image there. It's not a compact vehicle. It's quite large. That means it's easier to hit. The gun might be, one of the best in the world, but if it's got paper thin armor, which it does, and it's a large target, it's basically meat on the table. It's the same thing for the M103 as well. They're both ineffective really against the Russian vehicles. T95, that's got very decent armor and can, is virtually impenetrable from the front. But the problem with that is its speed. If you can see that it's 8 miles an hour. Now, with it being only 8 miles an hour, again, it just gets left behind in a fast-moving battle. Also, it's only battle range 7 as well. So, if you're taking that into a battle range 8 game, you're basically taking in a weaker vehicle, if you understand what I mean. The M42, that's basically just, virtually the same as the M19, to be honest. There's very little difference between them. I think maybe in speed, maybe? Yeah, this one's slightly faster. But it doesn't make that much difference, really. So yeah, I mean, I would do some more testing as far as like the Tier 5 vehicles go for both the Russians, Americans and Germans. Well, I say both, it's all of them. But there's very little point because I already know the imbalance is in favour with the Russians already. And it's nothing to do with it's discounting even the difference in vehicles. I mean, the fact that the M103 can easily get penetrated by the T54 from the front and by the IS-4 from the front, and probably even the IS-3 as well. And it's nothing to do with the M47 being a large target and being fairly crap in comparison to what it'll fight, which is T54s, IS-4s, IS-3s, and ZSUs, all of which will quite happily chew a M47 to pieces without the M47 actually having a chance to do much about it. Now, I'm not stupid. But I don't think the player base is stupid either, and that's why you're not really seeing people playing these top tier vehicles that much at the moment, because there's just nothing there. There is only, well, for the Americans at least, there's one battle range 8 ground forces vehicle, which is the M103. For the Germans, they've got one vehicle at battle range 8.0, which is that one, Morse. And for the Russians, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vehicles at battle range 8. That's at 7.7 and that's at 7.7, and both of those, to be honest, can deal with either of, well, the M103 at least. The ZSU, what's it called, 57-2, I don't think that'll be able to deal with the Morse unless it gets lucky on the turret ring. I'm not sure about this, but I think I might have actually been taken out by one before. Let's have a look at the City APCR armor it's got. 251, that will go through. That'll kill a Morse. That'll actually go through. And that's more effective than that round at killing things. So yeah, I mean, basically, everyone else is boned apart from the Russians at the Tier 5 or Battle Range 8. And, I mean, the way I see it is that the IS-3, even though it's been up-tiered to Battle Range 8, is still going to get down-tiered. Because if anyone is silly enough for either the Germans or the Americans to take anything at 7.0 for Battle Range, so the Ag Tiger, or the King Tiger 10.5, or even the Coleon, if they take in either of those three, I think that they've got a pretty decent chance of getting up-tiered into a game against Battle Range 8.0 tanks. Now, I can't, well, the only way I can test it out is by taking that out, 10.5 centimeter Tiger 2. Which I may well do. I might actually do a couple of games with that just to see if, I get up-tiered, or whether or not I get the amazing opportunity to fight against lower tier opponents, which may be the case either way. I mean, the other thing as well being for the Americans, it's the same for them. So T32 with its battle range 7.0, the T95 with its battle range 7.0, both of those, in my opinion, could get up tiered into games against IS-3s, and yes, that's not a good thing for the player, taking these vehicles up into those battles, rather. The M46 Tiger, again, that's battle rate 7.0, that could get upted as well. It just takes one mistake by whoever is playing as the Americans. That one mistake being taking a aircraft with a battle rating of 7.3. So, you know, someone might get a bit overly keen and take in the Banshee with a battle rating of 7.3. If they put that into the lineup, I would almost guarantee them getting up-tiered into a battle rating 8.0 game against IS-3s and IS-4s. Because although you know, the IS-3 has been up-tiered, I'm guessing still people are still going to be queuing with it because it's a popular vehicle, because of its power and how effective the armor is. Now, what I'm going to do is, just as a quick test, I'm going to have a game in the Russians with the IS-3 just to see what happens, because I'm kind of curious with this as to, you know, what's going to happen as far as the matchmaking goes, whether or not it's going to down to me or whether or not at a battle rating 8 game. Now, I am level 100 in game, as you can see there. That can affect the matchmaker. Gaijin, you know, as far as I know, they've not said that they've removed the skill-based matchmaker, so why, you know, would I think that it's not in there? And from what I've seen, I get updated a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean it's about 90% of the games. So, you see, I have a bit of a conundrum there. I have a bit of a problem as far as what I you know, I'm going to end up fighting against. Now, since it is battle rating 8.0, I'm going to chuck the new ZSU I've got into the game. Just there. Gas can get replaced with the ZSU. Okay, so apparently we have 87 players in the queue. That is not 87 players. I can see that straight away. Straight into game. Now that's unusual. This is going to be interesting. Okay, we'll go with the IS-3 first, I think. Okay, so it doesn't look like I've been downed, but looks can be deceiving, I think. We do have Germans on the other side, so that could mean Morses or Mies, or it could mean that certain vehicles have been uptiered because they are still classed as tier 5. I'm surrounded by Russians by those things. I mean, not just Russian tanks, but Russian players. And I'm getting leg spikes as well, even better. Well, I'm guessing that TV was a stock one. It's the 1947 variant SE, it is one, I think. That was definitely someone. I think that was an M103 actually. And he's hiding behind a bush. I wonder if he's an ultra low graphics script. I wonder. More than likely, I guess he probably is. There's one. Something dead ahead. There's another M103 here. And he's dead. And there's another one down there, I'm sure of that. Finding him is going to be a bit tricky. There we go, got him. So with 2 kills, I can't bring in any of the aircraft. That's 2 M103 kills as well. Not like, you know, M47s or anything crap like that. M19 just killed those 4. Must have been artillery, I guess. 4 enemy E6, okay. That's him. Lol. Surprised I didn't kill him with that shot actually. Magic bullet! A King Tiger. As usual. So yeah, there was a Jagdtiger. Well, actually, there was two Jagdtigers in this game. I saw they do get up to. Thought that might be the case. But I mean, I'm not going to continue playing the IS-3. I'm just doing this as a test. I mean, I should do obviously more, but I don't like to play something that I know is particularly quite badly broken. Even at this, you know, battle rain or whatever, it's quite the performer. Oh, lag. So there you go. As I initially thought, my kind of point, or my original kind of idea, not necessarily idea I suppose, or conclusion with regards to this battle rate change, is that it's actually not really changed that much. And it seems as though that is the case, at least from that initial game anyway. As I say, I'm not going to continually farm the IS-3. I'm bored out of my mind from playing it, if I'm honest. And I've got other stuff that I can, you know, work on as well, as far as tanks go. So I'm going to go and do that. What I think I'm going to do is do some testing with regards to the Germans. I may even take the King Tiger out for a few spins, because now that doesn't face against this beast constantly. Alright then, so let's go for the big one. Of course, I'll find out as soon as I spawn in that I've been up to. Wow, no I haven't. Okay, it looks like I've actually been down tiered. Now, this is going to be quite interesting for me, because I've had like 8 games with this, and I wasn't impressed with it, because it would just constantly fight against IS-3s and IS-4s and stuff like that, which it just didn't stand a chance against. I mean, even stock, this thing would, well, even fully upgraded, this thing would struggle to deal with an IS-3 or an IS-4. But stock, yeah, you can forget about it. This thing is just dead when it comes down to fighting vehicles. That's not even counting the you know, T-54s, which are more manoeuvrable than it, and will just run rings around it to the point where, you know, you'll just get killed very quickly and painfully. Oh, I know, I have been up to it. So yeah, even though this has been down-tiered, it's still getting up-tiered because of the way the matchmaker works. And is basically doomed. That's an IS-4 down there. I don't stand a chance of penetrating this guy. Even if I can hit him. Chances are he's going to kill me now or make a turret. I'm quite surprised he bounced there. Kind of just waiting to get flanked now. So yeah, what Gaijin have basically done is screw over the gems even more. I'm going back to the hangout. Seriously, that's just a joke. They are hilariously bad. I mean, yeah, the Tiger, the first one, Tiger 2H, that's fine now. I'm sure that will be fine. Because it won't get up tiered against the IS-3.